So, the 2026 World Cup in North America, it's going to be massive. I mean, we're talking more teams, more games, the whole shebang. But the biggest story here, the real game changer, it's probably not what you're thinking. Yeah, the big headline is that it's the first time we'll have 48 nations competing. And sure, that's a big deal. But trust me, that's not the real story. What we're about to see is a shift, a seismic shift that goes way beyond just a new tournament format. See, 2026 marks something way, way bigger. It's the dawning of a new era. This is the first World Cup for a totally new generation of players. Think about it. The legends who've dominated the sport for the last 2 decades, their time is up. And believe me, their successors are more than ready to take the throne. Just look at this for a second. This right here shows you everything you need to know. On one side, you've got Messi and Ronaldo, born back in the mid-'80s. And on the other, you've got guys like Yamal, Endrick, and Estevo, all born in 2006, 2007. I mean, these kids were toddlers when the whole Messi-Ronaldo rivalry was just getting started. This isn't just a transition, you guys. It's a full-on, press-the-button, complete reset. All right, so let's meet these heirs to the throne. And I want to be clear, we're not talking about prospects or ones to watch for the future. Nope. These are professionalized prodigies who've completely skipped the apprenticeship phase and are already playing at the very top of the game. And you just have to start with the guy who's basically become the new global standard for young talent, Spain's Lamine Yamal. I mean, you could argue he's the most established teenager the sport has ever seen. He's a key player for both Barcelona and Spain, and his style, it's just electric. So direct. It really does remind you of a young Lionel Messi. And wow, the numbers, they just speak for themselves. In the 25-26 season, we're talking 9 goals and 11 assists in only 21 games for Barcelona. But check out this last stat. This is the one that gets me. 99th percentile for successful take-ons. So what does that actually mean? It means when this kid runs at a defender, he is statistically better at beating his man than 99% of other professional footballers. That's not potential, folks. That is elite, right here, right now production. And if you need any more proof of his status, look no further. A market value of 200 million euros. That's the kind of number you see next to Ballon d'Or winners. It just solidifies it, right? He's not a future star. He's a global heavyweight today. Okay, let's hop over to France now, because the story keeps building. Meet Désiré Doué, the guy who was officially crowned the best under-21 player in all of Europe, winning the 2025 Golden Boy Award. And get this, he didn't just win it, he absolutely dominated. He racked up 450 points, which is almost triple what his closest rivals got. This is a huge deal. It signals a real shift in France's creative engine room, and Doué is now expected to be a starter for a team that's hungry to get that World Cup trophy back. Okay, so we've talked about the creative architects. Now, let's talk about pure killer instinct. Let's talk about Brazil's Endrick. This guy represents the comeback of the specialist striker. You know, a pure, old-school number 9, but with a totally modern, explosive edge. He is the silent assassin inside that penalty box. And this comparison here, it just perfectly illustrates the two different styles. You've got Yamal, the architect, who's all over the pitch, racking up over 60 touches a game. Then you have Endrick, the assassin, who gets about half as many touches, but, and this is a big but, look at his shot accuracy. A ridiculous 48.7%. He doesn't need to touch the ball all the time, because when he does get a chance, he is absolutely ruthless, just incredibly efficient. So you might be wondering, how is this happening? How are so many incredibly elite players popping up at such a young age? Well, the rise of superstars like Yamal and Endrick is no accident. What we're witnessing is a massive, systemic change in how young players are developed. It's like a global talent factory that's just churning out these professionalized prodigies faster than we've ever seen before. And this whole talent explosion is really being fueled by 3 major trends. First, you have these specialized academies that are pretty much industrializing how talent is made. Second, you have these suburban hotbeds, these little pockets around the world that are just concentrated breeding grounds for superstars. And finally, you're seeing the rise of new power brokers, whole countries and regions that are starting to challenge the old guard. Let's break each one down. Okay, let's look at some real-world examples. Over in the Ivory Coast, you've got the ASEC Mimosas Academy. It offers top-tier football training and a full education, and it's all completely free. Then you've got the suburbs of Paris, which is basically a factory for producing players like Kylian Mbappe. And this stat right here is just mind-blowing. Listen to this.
30 players at the 2022 World Cup came from the Greater Paris region. 30. That's more than double any other city. It's the most concentrated talent pipeline on the entire planet.
And it's not just the usual suspects either. I mean, take Greece, for example. In 2024, Olympiacos pulled off the unthinkable. They won the UEFA Youth League, the Youth Champions League, and their senior team won a European trophy in the same year. That kind of success has shot players like Christos Mouzakidis onto the world stage, with his value now soaring up to 40 million euros. It's a huge signal that new power brokers are rising up and challenging the established order. Okay, so beyond the guys who are already household names, there's a whole new wave of debutantes ready to absolutely light this tournament up. So let's do a quick fire round of a few more faces you need to be watching.
First up, another phenom from Brazil, Estevan Willian. His nickname is Messinho, Little Messi, which tells you a lot about his playing style. He made the big move to Chelsea and pretty much started making history from day one.
And yeah, his impact was immediate. He won the super prestigious Bola de Ouro award back in Brazil. He became Chelsea's youngest ever Champions League goalscorer, and he matched a record that was only held by two other guys, Mbappe and Haaland. Scored in his first 3 Champions League starts. I mean, come on. That's not just promise. That's stone-cold proof that he belongs on the world's biggest stage, right now. And hey, it's not just about the flashy attackers. You got Spain's Pau Cubarsí, this 18-year-old defensive rock for Barcelona who, and I'm not kidding, was still in high school during the last World Cup. And then, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have a guy like Colombia's Luis Diaz. He's already an established star at 28, but this will be his first World Cup. He's finally getting his shot. And this quote from Diaz, it just brings it all home, doesn't it? It really captures the human side of all of this. You know, we can talk about stats and tactics all day, but for these players, this is it. This is the absolute pinnacle. It's the dream they've been chasing their entire lives.
So as we look ahead to 2026, the big question isn't just about who's going to win the trophy, it's about whose legacy is going to be forged. This whole tournament really feels like the opening chapter of a brand new book in football history.
The stage is set. It's perfect. The era of Messi and Ronaldo, it's in the rearview mirror now. The torch has officially been passed. And all these players we've just been talking about, they're not the future of football anymore. They are the here and now. They are the present.
So it all comes down to this. With the old guard gone, there's a power vacuum at the very top of the sport. The question is, who from this unbelievable new generation is going to step up and seize that crown? Who's going to be the one to define the next decade of the beautiful game? Well, 2026 is where we're going to find out.